Alright, so where we left off in the last video on what are B.C.E., C.E., B.C., and A.D., we were just discussing what is the difference between these terms. So we know that B.C.E. and B.C. are the same, and C.E. and A.D. are also the same. So it's important just to remember that these mean the same things. If you see an artifact on a museum's website, or even if you're in a museum in person, and it says that it was made in 500 BC, you know that it is the same thing as 500 BCE. All right, so I'm going to go to the next one. So when we're counting our years, there is no year zero. The year is either 1 BCE or 1 CE. There is no euro. There is no year zero, right? So if I'm looking at this timeline that I attached on the bottom, we have 1 BC or BCE, then 1 AD or CE, and then the numbers go up to the right. So up, getting closer to the year that we are in now. And when we go on the years BCE, we go backwards. So if we were counting years, it would be like 5 BCE, 4 BCE, 3 BCE, 2 BCE, 1 BCE, 1 CE, 2 CE, 3 CE, 4 CE, 5 CE, all the way up to 2020, right? And we'll explain that better on the next section. All right, so which year was a longer time ago, 5 BCE or 5,000 BCE? So it's easy to say that, oh, the number is bigger. That means it's a year that's more recent, right? It's a bigger year. It's closer in time to where we are now. But think of CE like positive numbers and BCE like negative numbers. This is just like your integers in math class. Okay, so if we were counting, we would count backward from the year 1 when you are using BCE and forwards when you are using CE. So if you look at the first timeline, again, we have 1, okay, and if we were going to the right, which is the common era, so if we were counting up to 2020, it would be 5, 10, 15, 20, and 5s. Okay, and then when we go backwards in BCE, we have 5 BCE, 10 BCE, 15 BCE, 20 BCE, and 25 BCE. So 5 BCE is actually closer to 2020 than 5,000 BCE. And I showed this other little timeline. Even though this timeline has 0, just pretend it's 1, right? But this shows you how it's just like negative numbers in our math classes, right? All right, well, I know that this is kind of confusing, right? There's too many letters and too many numbers for me. But this is important because we should know what year it is, and we should know how long ago things happened. So everything that we talk about recently would be in the Common Era, and anything that happened thousands of years ago, right? That's going to be BCE, because that was before the Common Era, before we decided that time was important and that we needed to keep track of